John, we're going to go to you with story number 2. John, this story is coming out of the Miami Herald. Let me set the scene before I read the headline in the first couple graphs. The scene is right now, it is a seller's market still for single family houses and basically any kind of residential in Miami as well as the state of Florida. Primary reason is during the pandemic, people were able to work from home. Many of them picked up and they moved to Florida. They came from New York. They came from California. They came from elsewhere. And as a result, a lot of the supply was gobbled up. In addition to that, we have investors who come here, they purchase places and they're running them as Airbnbs. So that is the background. Let me read the headline, first couple graphs, Sean, and I'll ask you to comment. Headline, again, Miami Herald. In the hunt for real estate, a Miami developer goes underwater for new land to build on. First couple graphs. An iguana falling from a palm tree qualifies as excitement on the lake for Anthony Johnson, whose home overlooks tranquil waters that obscure what could be Miami's next bustling construction site. For the moment, the 30-acre parcel sits 10 feet underwater at the bottom of Silver Blue Lake, a former rock pit in Little River Farms neighborhood north of Miami. An entity controlled by developer Kareem Lakhdar purchased the underwater land off Northwest 17th Avenue for $750,000 in 2018, banking on winning approval from Miami-Dade County to fill parts of his acquisition and build apartments on the newly created real estate. A quote from one of the residents, Mr. Johnson, who's 64 and he's a retired police officer. The quote is, "Never did I think someone would want to fill in my lake. I'll see windows and doors and balconies. Right now, I see peace and tranquility." John, what do you make of the fact that there's such a housing demand that they want to fill in lakes? And second of all, if you buy a waterfront property in Miami, does it mean you actually have a waterfront property or is it simply a future construction site? What say you, Sean?
Yeah, this is why you need to be extra super careful when you buy any real estate in South Florida and actually in Florida, period, because anything can happen. There are just countless examples that I wrote about over the years about changing land uses, changing zoning. A lot of it is under political influence. There was a good line in the story about the homeowner there saying, this kind of thing wouldn't happen in Coral Gables. So he's got a point there, but the thing is that Florida's zoning laws and development areas are constantly changing. So you could think you're in a residential neighborhood and all of a sudden you have some office buildings going up, or you might think you're in a single family neighborhood and all of a sudden you have, a multifamily building going up. And it could be just for political reasons. The fact that this was a former rock pit mine, which, they're all over the place. These former mines that are now filled up with water. There people own the rights under the water. Who knew? But this is why you have to tread so carefully in South Florida.
It's an interesting point, John. We've heard of golf courses before being acquired and projects going up. I'm not that familiar with lakes, so this is something people need to look into. Just like John said, these are going out and they're looking for property.